Whether it's through virtual fists or words online, this is definitely one Japanese internet personality that doesn't pull any punches. And as a result, her fighting game career ended up going up in flames. This is certainly going to be an interesting one. In this episode of Otaku Files, we're going to talk about Tanukana. Most of us outside of Japan may not be aware of some of the more interesting personalities within the Japanese otaku landscape. So I thought I'd do a little video series and try to shed some light on these individuals. This is Otaku Files. When thinking about the fighting game scene in Japan, who do you normally think of? Perhaps it's one of the Kakuge Goshin, aka the 5 legendary FGC gods, Umehara Daigo, Tokido, Nuki, Sako, or Haitani. Whoever it is, I'm going to guess it's probably a guy. The FGC, especially 10-15 years ago, isn't exactly known for having many women competitors. However, in this video we're going to talk about one of them, who is known not just for her gaming skills. Tanukana, who apparently is the second Japanese woman to have become a pro gamer. Originally from the city of Tokushima, located in the prefecture of the same name, Tokushima, Tanukana, whose real name is Tanikana, was exposed to games from a really young age, as her father was actually a gamer, and along with
Are those kind of 1v1 game like more toxic or less toxic?
her siblings would watch him play. The real leap into gaming for her was when she visited the arcades when she was in high school and came across Tekken. Living in essentially the countryside, Tanukana would often ride her bike for 45 minutes to go play at the arcade whenever she had the chance. She also wasn't alone, often going with 2 other high school friends. 3 high school girls playing games in the arcade was apparently quite rare back then, and there were even some forum posts about them. After high school, Tanukana did various jobs, but would still carry on playing Tekken, although that balance wasn't always easy for her. Her move to be a pro gamer came around the end of 2016 when she applied to the Japanese esports organization Cyclops Athlete Gaming, which is currently known as CAG Osaka, who at the time were looking for new members to join. Tanukana was, to a certain degree, already recognized for her Tekken skills, as she was once invited by Bandai Namco Entertainment to play at a Tekken event overseas. With there also being very few female applicants, it wasn't difficult for her to join. She would then move from her hometown of Tokushima to Osaka the following year. 2017 is also noted to be the year she started her online streaming activities. Some of her earlier achievements as a pro gamer include coming in 3rd for Tekken 7 at Combo Breaker 2017, an event that was part of the Capcom Pro Tour. She was also 2nd at the Tekken World Tour Online 2017, also for Tekken 7. Tanukana was very active over the next few years, playing at various tournaments. Being a female pro gamer definitely made her stand out, and she certainly had a degree of popularity outside of Japan too. But Tanukana didn't just like to game, she also liked to talk, talking about her various thoughts, opinions and experiences through streaming sites like Twitch and Mildom.
お前本当胸の大きさだけだないいとこいいやん1個あったらそれでええやろなんかおっぱい見てけこの野郎
However, it's her words that would end up affecting her pro gaming career pretty severely. On February 15th, 2022, during one of her Mildom streams, she talked about a time that she was being hit on
I like her silver hair.
by an Uber driver. How after the driver delivered her food, he stayed close to her house and decided to ring the doorbell again to ask for her number, which she found scary. When asked by a viewer why she wasn't interested, Tanukana says that the driver was probably only around 165 centimeters tall, and when understanding that, thought he had no chance. That if he was taller and built, then she might have given him her number. Tanukana then says 165 centimeters is way too short, and that if you aren't at
If he was tall and he was stalking her like this, it would have been even scarier.
least 170 centimeters tall, you don't have human rights, and that you should go about your life thinking, I don't have human rights. She also then says that those men should look into getting bone lengthening surgery, and once they are at 170 centimeters, they will have human rights. Yikes. Oh, but not to worry, she mentions that even though she is rough on short guys, she is kind to
Hey, short kings have value, okay? Levi Ackerman, supremacy.
guys who are overweight or are balding. Well, that's a relief now, isn't it? Now, there is some contention here as a few people have suggested that Jinken Nai, aka no human rights, is actually gaming lingo that means you aren't qualified to play on that stage. That basically she was using that term to say, I'm only romantically interested in men who are at least 170 centimeters tall, not literally meaning that men under that height have no human rights.
デブとハゲには優しいけどチビにだけはめっちゃ厳しいからただチビだけはほんまに人権がない
Chibis, she
だから
called
私は
them.
ガチモンのハゲと付き合ったこともあるしガチモンのデブと付き合ったこともあるからチビだけはほんまに無理 A カップに人権なくない一緒よ
However, even though there were only around 30 or so viewers during that particular stream, word spread online like wildfire, with those calling the statement hate speech and even discriminatory. Something that should be noted here is that the average height of Japanese men is noted to be around 170 to 172 centimeters, meaning chances are there are quite a lot of Japanese men under 170 centimeters. Tanukana did put out a tweet saying that indeed it wasn't her intention to hurt people and that she was talking about preferring taller guys. She also did apologize, but in a somewhat casual manner, not in the formal way which many in Japan would expect in this sort of situation, which apparently had the opposite effect. Tanukana received a whirlwind of hate. There were even comments that went as far as to say, someone go stab her. Cyclops Athlete Gaming also issued an apology to fans and sponsors. It seems that Tanukana did also later tweet out a more formal apology, but it was too late. All of the sponsors that were listed in her page, including Alienware and Red Bull, were taken off. Cyclops Athlete Gaming would soon then terminate Tanukana's contract. Now, one thing that needs to be understood, it wasn't too long ago that as a profession, pro gamer was defined in Japan. According to the Japan Esports Union, one of the main points that defines a pro gamer is quote-unquote self-awareness of being a professional, a stipulation added so that esports pros would be taken seriously within Japan. So it might seem understandable as to why this decision was made. Now, I wish I could say this was the only time Tanukana said something controversial, but unfortunately there have been other times too. For example, the following year in October, during a Twitch stream, to some hate comments she said that maybe she should burn the lot of them for the sake of the world, and then said Auschwitz concentration camp. Some months later, she would explain how that remark cost her some work, but instead of showing any remorse, she said jokingly to her comment section, "Shut up, I'll send you to the gas chamber."
Oh god.
Not much else to say there. In any case, even though we might not be seeing Tanukana anytime soon in a major Tekken tournament, she is more active as a streamer on Twitch. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this
Is
video,
she
guys.
popular?
Thank you so much for watching. This was a request I have gotten a few times to cover Tanukana.
What
I do
the
know who she
fuck?
is.
She's
I do actually
unhinged.
enjoy watching fighting game tournaments on occasion, but I was also aware that she had gotten herself into some kind of hot water. I know a lot of people outside of Japan do like her. Personally speaking, it's hard to call myself a fan of hers, just to be honest, but let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And hopefully this video did
Abused
clear
homeless stinky feet. What is this thumbnail? The stinky feet is so random.
up some things on what happened to her. Anyway, thank you again, guys. Take care. Peace. Bye.
チンチン舐められたら普通に声出るキモお前ら死んだ方がいいよお前ら死んだ方がいいよなんでチンチン舐められてる時にあえでんの死んだ方がいいよ大声出すな
I mean, I heard way worse go unpunished. I can see why people get mad. Yeah. I feel like, I mean, the reaction was a bit disproportionate. The Auschwitz stuff is definitely worse than the short guy comment. Even though it's like, I mean, how to piss off your entire fan base. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.